Alright guys, LGD versus Orange. As guys had said, this is the winner bracket finals. Best of 3 series. This is the first game in the best of 3 series, and this could go either way. LGD and Orange, two ridiculously strong teams in the Asian scene, and we believe they're on a 1-all. They're currently tied up, well, they're in their past games, they're tied up 1 each.
Yeah, they won each. Group stage, I believe that match went to LGD, but in the tiebreakers, it was Orange who came out on top in that matchup. So they are 1-1 in this tournament, and this is going to be the one that matters. This is the winner bracket final. The winner of this will get a place in the grand finals on Sunday.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that happen. And of course, whoever gets knocked down will be taking on... Actually, I'm not even sure who they'll be playing. It's going to come down to whoever wins out of...
Zenith and Tongfu.
Yeah.
Zenith and Tongfu. And the winner of that will go up against the loser of this match.
See how that goes down. Anyway, so Chen and Chantress like and being banned by LGD. 3 really stock standard bans there. Brewmaster also being banned by Orange. They will also get rid of the Leshrac. I don't mind that at all. Leshrac is, of course, a pretty crazy strong... In fact, actually, we haven't seen any Leshrac tonight, not banned or picked. And he's been a really common hero, to be dead honest.
He's suddenly gone out of fashion, it feels. It's kind of weird. I have to agree. It's just teams suddenly, deciding that they don't really want to rate him that much of a pick. He's kind of squishy. Teams have realized he's not that great as support. He's decent when he's in a farming role, but teams have been playing heroes like Queen of Pain and Winner as their farmers more or less. They don't like having Leshrac in that role. And now with some of these bans, we're going to have the little purple monster that I find to be so damn annoying to go up against, and there's just no real counter to him. The Darkseer is the first pick for LGD, and not at all surprised to see that taken. Orange have plenty of options. Queen of Pain, Windrunner, Prophet, all these heroes still in the pool, but Darkseer is just such a strong first pick for LGD.
Wait, no, that's fine. I thought the banner had disconnected there for a second, but yeah, Orange, let's see what they go with. Also, quick note, KYXY will be playing once again. Mushi is not here at all, I don't think. It'll be Ice, Yamato, Winter, and Extinct, but no Mushi. It will be KYXY, who was formerly of MUFC, was he not?
Queen of
yeah, formerly of MUFC, but when MUFC, well, bit of history, when MUFC joined up with HYHY, he got kicked out. I don't know if kicked out's the right word, but he was the only player from MUFC who didn't join up with HYHY under MYM. So for a while, MUFC were playing as MYM with HYHY, but KYXY then joined Orange, and now he is still playing with Orange sort of as their, well, not really their 6th player, because he does play most of their Dota 1 tournament, all their Dota 1 tournaments, and some of their Dota 2 matches. So he's a bit of a regular player there. Orange, though, picks some bans here. They've got the Prophet, they've got the Queen of Pain. Winner is still in the pool here, but I like these 2 picks here. We'll probably see Winter. Winter played Prophet, I think, 3 games in a row against Zenith. I think all 3 games he was on that side lane solo Prophet, so we'll probably be seeing that again from him.
I'm worried about LGD picking up the anti-mage this early, because at the moment, Orange, I think they've got the opportunity to pick a lineup that can completely punish LGD for going for this early anti-mage. Just completely shut them down the early phase, and just make sure anti-mage... They can end the game before anti-mage ever becomes a problem, especially with the mobility of Prophet. They can just make them they can force LG to overreact, come to defend the anti-mage, and then just have Prophet immediately go somewhere else and push other lanes, along with some other heroes, just teleport out and counter push elsewhere. But I'm definitely worried about that early anti-mage pick. I don't know, guys. Do you think they can make it work, or do you think Orange can really punish them for it so far?
Well, the Darkseer is, he's a great hero to have, but he's not a hero who can provide reliable backup to an anti-mage. The Shadow Shaman is versatile. It can be played as a solo mid or as a support for anti-mates. The Chinese teams are probably the ones who do favor Shadow Shaman as a support for carry heroes, but at the same time, they've also run it on numerous occasions in the hands of Xiao Wei as a solo mid. So it's quite versatile, this lineup for LGD. They've got their options here. They haven't really tipped too much to Orange what they're going to do with their lanes here, but as far as anti-mates goes, back to what you're saying here, I do think this early anti-mage pick can be quite risky here, but they're basically now going to force Orange to either pick up a hard carry of their own or go for an early to mid-game dominance kind of strategy where they pick up some strong pushing heroes or just go for the big team fight and sort of really force LGD to get off to an early, put them on the back foot right from the start. So right now we'll see whether or not Orange want to go for a carry here or pick up maybe just a strong, aggressive support hero. Something like a Venomancer, Crystal Main, Vengeful Spirit could be a likely pick for Orange. There aren't too many jungle heroes there, but there is the Enigma. And speaking of Enigma, I think DreamHack just saw Enigma just absolutely winning games left, right, and center. MTW especially loves using the Enigma, but Orange are going to go with one of Yamato's favorite heroes. They pick up the Windrunner. And this means, I like seeing Windrunner getting picked here. I think it's a strong hero, but the problem is Orange have kind of revealed everything they're going to be doing here. Windrunner and Queen of Pain likely to be to sort of Windrunner at mid, Queen of Pain likely be in the safe lane with Prophet in the side lane solo, unless they run Prophet in jungle. But Orange almost always run that Prophet side lane solo, so maybe they'll mix it up with the jungle Prophet here, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you were saying, like, Enigma is really popular. Like, it doesn't surprise me. He's really strong, and they could slot him into the jungle, have him pop out like the Cheddar and Champs early on, gank somebody, and then push. I think it's definitely a possibility, but we'll see what they go for. Because he's got that Maleficent stun. It is enough, I think, to help pick off the Darks here, especially because we've seen them do it before. Actually, they come out, just Maleficent him, set him up for some follow-up stuns. And Darks here, while he's tough, he's not quite that tough, especially that early in the game. So I think they could manage it. Prophet can take the side lane, Enigma can jungle and then pop out. Crystal Maiden actually going to be banned though by Orange. Also, the Slardar getting knocked off. I don't really know if we would have seen Orange pick up the Slardar, to be dead honest. I just don't feel they'd really gel all that well with their current lineup.
Yeah. I think LGD are expecting a jungle Prophet, and if that's the case, I have a feeling they may in fact be wrong. I mean, maybe they know something I don't, but I mean, it's just been the case where it's been 3 games in a row last night against Zenith. It was side lane solo Prophet, and LGD may be somewhat expecting either Windrunner as a support, Prophet in the jungle. They are banning out the Slardar. Slardar's a pesky hero for Anti-Mage to deal with, which is largely the reason we're seeing it banned out, but fitting that into the Orange lineup would be hard and would make them have some fairly weak lanes here. Orange, they're going to want to dominate the laning stage. So as a result, I think LGD are better off banning out some of those strong, annoying support heroes. I mean, heroes like the Venomancer, the Vengeful Spirit, maybe that Enigma who could go into the jungle. And Enigma's a nice hero to have against Anti-Mage. Maybe even the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is a both defensive and offensive support hero. You can set up kills using the Disruption. You can also save people's lives using the Disruption. So that's a hero that could be very pesky, especially for an Anti-Mage. Up against his own illusions is never fun.
Well, they decided to ban off the Earthshaker, but as it is, they've got the first pick anyway, so if they really want to, they could pick up the Shadow Demon and just have it roll with them. Now, we've seen a few of the Chinese teams go for the support Rasta, so Rasta could be a solo hero here, or he could be a support, who knows, we'll see what happens with it. Yep. Although, to be dead honest, I think we've seen way more support Rasta lately than solo Rasta, so I'm kind of feeling a soft support Rasta going to be coming out of LGD's camp, and they're probably going to pick up another support to go with him, help him out, pull and that sort of thing. And there we go, they have that pick. They're going to grab the Shadow Demon. I don't know how much I like this, just because at the moment they're a little low on early damage. Sure, the Soul Catcher is fantastic. The Darkseer setup is awesome, but they just don't have a lot of burst. They're kind of lacking on really good heart. Like, they just don't have that power stun in there. Sure, they've got a Hex. They don't have a good AoE power stun. A Burrow Strike, a Fissure, a Slithering Crush, that kind of stun they're really lacking at the moment. So, with two sort of technical technical heroes in the form of Darkseer and Shadow Demon, and then one hard carry who won't participate that early, especially if he's doing the Chinese skill build, I think LGD may be in a bit of a rough spot, especially if Orange start forcing early fights, and they've got the lineup to do it as well. There's that Enigma we were talking about.
Yeah, I'd say Enigma going to be in the jungle here. We'll see Prophet at the bottom lane. X-Syncs love that Enigma, and they're going to pick up the Pugna last. So there's probably what's going to be that solo mid hero, depending on how they do in a lane. They could run those dual lanes, which are somewhat popular. Something like maybe even Pugna with the Shadow Shaman at bot, and Anti-Mage Shadow Demon at mid, if they want to sort of maximize their XP. Running tri-lanes is never all that efficient, and the Chinese teams do like their dual lanes. And if they can predict what Orange are going to do with their lanes, they don't need to send a tri-lane against Prophet at bottom. They can easily win that lane with a dual lane, and then they can also win mid lane with a dual lane up against what looks to be a solo Windrunner. Could be Windrunner at the safe lane with Queen of Pain at mid, but Yamata loves his solo mid Windrunner. And the last hero for Orange here, most likely just going to see a straight up support hero. They're one of the few teams who pick up Witch Doctor. We'll see if they will get that for Ice here, but there's plenty of options for them, and it's going to be a Vengeful Spirit, something a bit more aggressive and can use the Howl or the Aura, depending on the exact build, to give them some more aggressive pushing power.
I think we'll see probably like one early level in Aura at the very least, just because they've got a big pets build. And I was going to say they're probably going to pick something with a good stun, just because that's one of the things they're lacking at the moment. Maleficent is nice, Chakra Shot is nice, but just a good, quick power stun would be really useful just to set things up. And the VS is also just really, it's just a fantastically useful hero with a little technical abilities such as just swapping people in and out of danger. Or even, in this case, like we said before, the Howl is great, the negative armor is always great, the damage reduction is awesome, and then at the same time, that Aura. They've got plenty of pets to push with, so I think the Aura is definitely going to cause a lot of extra damage against these towers during the early pushes.
Yeah, and we'll see just how they do and do this. It looks like it will be Winter. He's gone for the early treants, and with all these heroes heading towards the top lane, he will be most likely in that bottom lane as the Suicide Solo up against the Anti-Mage, and just using those treants to pull that creep wave away, be as annoying as possible. Shadow Shaman also heading towards the bottom lane, which will leave Xiao Wei on his Pugna. Solo mid, it will be Pugna versus... Ooh, is it Queen of Pain or winner at mid? We'll have to wait and see here. At the moment, it looks like we may see Yamata actually on the Queen of Pain. He could maybe go towards the mid lane. He's got slightly more gold saved up. If whoever's going mid is likely to go for a fast ball, and it looks like it's more likely to be Queen of Pain doing that than Windrunner, who has used all the gold on boosting up all her early game stats. So Windrunner likely to be in that top lane, I'd say.
Yeah, that, and I feel that Windrunner is more, she's more useful in this case because she's got the better AoE to spam. The power shot, she can just CS, like she can spam in the wave a lot easier than the Queen of Pain can, and also she has the stun. In this sort of jungling, semi-tri-line jungling setup that they're going to have, the extra stun is going to be key to help picking off the Darkseer. Queen of Pain, sure, she's got great burst, but she's only got a slow. And they know they're going to be up against the Darkseer here, so the slow isn't really going to help at all. Having that extra stun, I think, is going to be way more useful because they're more likely to pick off the Darkseer. And once they pick off Yao here, they can quite easily bust down that tower at about the 5-minute mark without too many troubles at all. Meanwhile, DDC will be supporting the anti-mage in the bottom lane. Sylar, of course, the super farmer, will be taking that role. I am a little worried for the Dire lineup just because we have the Pugna, and we've seen these wards just basically go on to be the MVPs of matches just because they cause so much friggin' damage, and especially if the Dire, if they want to get active and push early, those Pugna wards could completely wreck them, but we'll see. We'll see.
And not just the Pugna that's annoying. Dax is another hero. He's tanky. He can go for a Vanguard into a hood or a pipe, or just go straight for that pipe. Give him a lot of survivability against all these nukes on the Dire side. And vacuum iron shells, I mean, these are some fairly squishy Dire lineup, and just vacuum combos against them is going to hurt. There isn't much AoE to follow it up. You've only really got a Pugna Blast. I mean, you can even just set up an Anti-Mage ultimate with it. But Darkseer is just... It looks to be a very useful hero against this Dire lineup. You can use the Surge to escape any ganks coming in as well. So we'll see how it pans out. Darkseer will have a tough time at top lane, and making sure he doesn't get any real farm at all. If he gets up a Vanguard pipe in sort of 20-25 minutes, it's going to be very, very hard for Orange to win any sort of fights, I feel. Yeah, you definitely, when you run these push strats, you definitely want to be ahead on those key items, the mech, the pipe. It makes life so much easier, unless you're E-home, in which case you go screw the mech and the pipe, let's just build a refresher on an Enigma. That also doesn't really work. Well, it looked like it'd work, but it almost did. As DDC disconnects, alright then. Gonna wait for him to get back in here. The gods, I don't know. Oh, it's gonna come down to how fast can they push, and trying to push against. I think they're gonna have to really split up their pushes, because trying to push against the Pugna ward, the Rasta wards, it could be a little bit difficult. So they might either need to get off some really good ganks before they push, or just keep a lot of pressure on a lot of lanes at once, because otherwise they may find these team fights maybe a little bit rough to try and win outright. Well, for Orange, I mean, they're on the Dire side. They can look to take this towards sort of the late game stage as long as they do a good job at out-farming the Anti-Mates. They don't have to completely obliterate him and shut him down. He's going to get some early farm, that's for sure. But around the sort of 15 to 25 minute mark, they have to start pressuring him. Look for a kill here or there. Try get some pickoffs using the Black Hole maybe, using some Shackle Shot ganks, using some Smart Smoke ganks, and then just out-farm him with heroes like Windrunner, Queen of Pain, and Prophet. Those heroes can benefit a lot from getting items up. We'll see maybe a couple sheep sticks coming, depending on whether we see. Orange have two options here. They can go for a push, go for a mass Necrobook strategy and look to just push things down, or they can take it to late game with multiple sheep sticks and using Queen of Pain, Prophet, as well as Windrunner, all as sort of semi-carry slash, well, getting close to sort of actual carry heroes. I mean, Queen of Pain we've seen do a lot of damage. And late game, as long as they're not giving Anti-Mage a massive head start, they can actually maybe compete in a late game scenario against Anti-Mage with all three of those heroes, with all these disables, not to mention the Enigma backup. Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. And if any team's going to run a mass Necrobook strategy, well, guys, you said Orange, they love their mass Necrobooks as, again, with pause. What's going on here? LGD pausing once again, some issues that are arising. But yeah, as long as they go into the late game with a bit of gold advantage, I think Yamate can probably manage to stay and go toe-to-toe. It depends what he goes for, though. If he builds the Necrobook on the Queen of Pain, it may be a little bit more difficult. Or then again, I suppose, you know, if they've got 2 or 3 level 3 Necros just wailing away on the Anti-Mage, he might find that's a little bit too much for him to deal with. So we'll see. What's gone wrong? I know, they're unpausing, never mind then. Hey, we need one of those Chinese translators here. Luckily, both the teams can communicate with each other. Unfortunately, we commentators, even Tusk, I don't think is Chinese. I don't think it's really quite up there. But we're going to get things underway anyways. The team have figured it out themselves, as normally is the case. And we'll see Darkseer at the moment solo up against Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain can still do fairly well here. You can put a lot of pressure onto Darkseer. we'll probably see maybe 2 points in that Shadow Strike early, just because it is a much more aggressive build, good against a hero like Darkseer, going for 2 in Shadow Strike, then start maxing out the Scream. As here comes Vengeful Spirit, early pressure, early harass. We'll just, no, not going to even drop any right clicks whatsoever. It's actually Darkseer who forces the Vengeful Spirit back into the jungle. VS will want to maybe stack this neutral.
I think it's the right job, because she's got no backup there, and basically if she goes to fight him, he's just going to pop Iron Shell on himself and then go toe-to-toe with her and win. Yeah. So she's going to take a lot of unnecessary damage, and she would basically, she'd have to run or she'd die, because she's got no backup there. Queen of Pain is busy trying to farm, so I think she did the right thing, and now she's actually got support here. She's happy to then stack on the damage. You see that she needs to be careful. Does need to be careful. Pops the stunner. They could actually cause a ton of damage. His Surge is up though. He will be able to get away, and with that backup, I think that was a much better. That was the timing there was better than to try and harass early when she was by herself, and she just ended up burning through her regen. She's actually saving gold. She's saving 300 gold. I think she's just trying to get some fast boots to help her roam a little bit earlier.
Yeah, reckon. No, this is something actually last time against Zenith. I think it was Ice who did the exact same thing, where had 200 gold saved up to buy sentry wards if needed, to make sure they can use this neutral pool. If the opponents block the pool, then Ice bought sentries. If they don't block the pool, then he doesn't need to bother with sentries. He can use that gold, probably get a flying courier when they need one. They don't have a flying courier yet, but they're actually not really shipping out any items anytime soon until maybe KYXY needs his bottle. So for now, they don't need that flying courier, but I think we may just see him saving this gold. It was pretty much to see if he needed sentries or not. And I think that's really smart plays. Here they are. They're going to find out Darkseer again at top. He's actually being blocked in. He's going to have to tango his way out here. Pops the Surge, and it's not going to be a kill, but it will force him further and further back. Yamata not going for the second point in Shadow Strike. I feel the 2 in Shadow Strike would be a slightly better build here, but it's not going to matter massively either way. Darkseer actually heading all the way back to family because he is out of mana. So rather than chewing through all those tangos and then being at top lane with no HP regen, no mana, and just having used up 3 tangos for pretty much no game because he can't stay in lane with no mana, he's going to head all the way back to Phantom, which is the better decision from Yao.
I think he might just go screw it in jungle, because he's getting nothing. He's getting squat nothing up there. He may just decide, you know what, this is a lost cause, let me just go in jungle instead, because he's getting absolutely nothing out of that top lane. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Sylar currently sitting on 13 and 9. He's farming nicely there. And Furion, unfortunately, being forced all the way. I'm pretty sure as soon as they leave, if Darkseer doesn't go back to the top lane, I think Furion will just transition and teleport, just go to the top lane and keep pushing that. Because they can take this down pretty quickly and give their team a pretty nice gold advantage in the early game. Meanwhile, KYX, we're going to be sitting in 10 and 3 versus Pugda. Pugda is 11-3, so pretty much even Stevens there. You know, yeah. Just trading kills on creep.
Something I haven't really talked about too much is this bottom lane. At the moment, Winter has only got half a level in XP, and this is not normally what happens with the Prophet in this side lane solo. It's LGD, the 2 support heroes, have prevented those treants from going into the creep wave, or behind the tower, and actually pulling the creep wave towards the Prophet. So I think it's pretty much just come down to the Shadow Shaman and Shadow Demon killing those treants whenever Winter has tried to pull the creep wave away. And as a result, he's still level 1, so really great support play by LGD, making Winter unable to do anything. He's actually going to head into that jungle, but without any mana to summon any more treants, he's really struggling at the moment. Although the same sort of thing is happening to Darkseer. Darkseer, like you mentioned, says screw it. He goes into his own jungle, and it looks like Prophet is actually going to maybe even join up with this Enigma, as Enigma is actually level 5 here, giving Orange a slight boost in terms of XP, having that jungle hero, although Darkseer will catch up quickly in his own jungle. Yeah, and of course Darkseer can accelerate his farm quite quickly, as long as he just starts stacking and then killing those hard camps there, although I'm not dead sure what Furion's up to at the moment, just sort of wandering around a little bit. I think he just checked for Rune there for a moment, didn't find anything. Haste gets picked up by the Shadow Shaman, and he's got nothing to gank, so he's just going to chill out. I think, yeah, Shadow Shaman's actually stacking the hard camp there. I think he's going to stack that for Darkseer to clean up, actually, just to help him catch up. Is Darkseer also going to... I'm not dead sure. Oh, okay, so he can't go toe-to-toe, that's why he's putting that on the creep. I was about to say, why doesn't he put it on himself so he hits both creep once? But it's because he doesn't want to stand there hitting it because they are winning. Meanwhile, though, the pressure has been put on by Orange. They are going to try and take this first tier top tower, and I assume LGD are going to do it. Well, actually, I don't think so, because they're going to try and just keep this lane as far back as possible, make it a safe zone for anti-mage to farm. So I don't think they'll try and push yet. Whereas Furion quite happy to come top, because Queen of Pain doesn't really need to be farming all that much. She'll get her early items, and then I think they're just going to put the pressure on and go and just put pressure mid, gank, and do all sorts of good stuff there. Well, I mean, I don't know how happy Prophet is right now, because Winter has only just hit level 2. Sure, the tower is going to give him a boost to their gold, but right now, Winter needs levels more than anything. He needs to find somewhere where he can actually catch up in terms of levels. Gold as well. I mean, he hasn't hit a single creep, but he's managed to get some boots because of his tower gold, but ultimately, Orange are in a bit of trouble with this Prophet not having the levels he needs. They're managing to stay ahead in terms of the Enigma, the Windrunner, and the Queen of Pain getting a lot of levels, but having an under-leveled Prophet is not a good start for them, as Winter will TP back towards this bottom lane. But this Antimage can basically go 1v1 now. Doesn't even need the support who's in bottom lane now that he's hit level 6 and has a point in the mana break as well as some early treads.
To be honest, I agree. I feel like DD here and DDC should probably break off and do something else, because at the moment they're not doing a whole lot. Like you said, if Prophet tries to start anything, Anti-Mage will finish it for sure. Smoke gank though on the mid lane from the Dire side. It looks like they're going to come in here and try and pick somebody off. Who is it? Pugner is vulnerable. No decent escape. He's naturally quite speedy, but as the dust is actually, smoke is actually worn off Nick. I don't know if he realizes he's actually visible right now. He's actually sitting out the lane. Here we go. They're going to move in now. Going to chase after this Pugner. Pugner though, he's seen them. The tower dropped a shot on Vengeful Spirit, and Pugner knows he's in a bit of trouble. It looks like he's going to check the rune and then probably head away. He's found himself a regeneration rune though, and Extinct is here. He hasn't got level 6 yet. Throws in the Malphus, but nobody's here to back him up. And it was pretty much a wasted endeavor there. Although VS is still, no, she's going to back up towards the mid lane and get back to on her side of the river. So KYX will just continue farming away.
Yeah, Pugner can just use this regen rune. He can just farm up the neutrals, get nice and low mana and HP, and then just pop the regen to heal himself up. Anti-Mage at bottom lane. He has his Ring of Health. He's got those treads up. 46 creeps, 27 denies. And that big camp in the jungle has been stacked a couple of times. And I've got a feeling Darkseer's just going to stay top, and they can just use that stack, give that stack to the Anti-Mage later on. Shadow Demon's going to stack it again. And Anti-Mage can kill this when he has his Battle Fury. So they don't even have to be... They're not even stacking for the Darkseer, I want to say. This is going to give Sylar massive farm once he gets his Battle Fury. That's often the problem with Anti-Mage. You get your Battle Fury up, but you also need your next big item up as soon as possible. If you've got a big neutral stack there to kill right when you get your Battle Fury, well, that can really accelerate his farm. Although, just Battle Fury and treads, he's going to take a lot of damage. He may even need up a Vlad's to help him kill it, but still, either way, it's nice investment for his team having that neutral stack.
Or they could just have DD kill it. That works too. I mean, of course, you know, when it comes to these early mid-game fights, you need your support to farm up as well. And giving DD this farm, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think this is perfectly viable.
Yep. And he is smoked up to do this. He's just going to keep on stacking. And with the level 2 Shadow Poison, yeah, this is more or less... This is how, like you said, they need to do something. They're kind of under-leveled, under-farmed. And that's really showing on a few of these heroes. Shadow Shaman going to come in and help him out here. As even Pugner maybe going to drop this blast and KS all of these. No, he's going to leave to the support here. So there we go. Shadow Shaman, Shadow Demon, get some farm, get some items. That's going to give Shadow Shaman some boots. Shadow Demon gets closer maybe to some arcane boots of his own, and as a result, I imagine this, look at this, big XP swing suddenly going, the Dire team were ahead by 1k XP, now it's flipped the other way, all because of that big neutral stack.
And this is what I mean. Like this is something that Snoopy was telling me when I was first looking at the metagame shift. Snoopy said, look at Na'Vi's supports. Look what they do, and they actually give them some farm time. They don't just do nothing but stack for their carry, pull for their carry. They go and actually take, whether it be a lane or like you saw there, the neutral tricks. They go and make sure their supports get some farm and actually get some decent items up, so that when they engage as 5 heroes with their items done. As we're going to see the push here from Orange, though, they're in the mid. They're going to try and take this down. No response yet from LGD. It looks like they're happy to let this mid tower go, and they're just going to respond with a counter push on the bottom lane. Although, to be dead honest, I find the mid tower is probably a little bit more important at this stage, seeing as Orange really aren't using this bottom lane anyway. Well, they don't actually take the mid. Darkseer will actually manage to hold it off, so I lie, apparently.
Yeah, Darkseer is hard to push against, because you can put the Iron Shell on ally creeps, or if the enemy team are pushing hard, you put it on their creeps. And as a result, it just, I mean, either way, they can't really get rid of the Iron Shell, especially when you put it on their own creeps. They can't really deny unless they have, well, they have the Enigma who can, but if it is on cooldown, then there's not really too many options for them. Orange, though, right now, are going to keep on applying pressure. Darkseer's at mid, so they just swing towards bottom lane. They've got 3 heroes now. They're going to have a 4th hero Enigma, and Prophet can TP in if needed. Winter does not have much mana, though. He needs to be careful. He gets sheeped at mid. Is there a shackle? Just DDC getting off. Here comes the TP. It's going to be the Enigma. Enigma has Black Hole, and the right-click damage onto Pugner with a Malefice. There's the first blood. 9.5 minutes. It's a very, very late first blood. It's been mostly a tactical game until now, but finally, a kill has fallen.
And Prophet managing to teleport out, just getting out of range of the water. In fact, he was just out of range of the water. It was almost close enough to zap him as he teleported out, and probably would have killed him, considering he's on about 10 health. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane, looks like they're diving under there. They were looking for DD. Double D, though, it's on the run, and it looks like they won't be able to get this ice. Is in fact just going to duck away. Yamata, though, going to nuke down this creep wave. He's got level 4 Scream. Should be enough to clean up this creep wave and continue pushing. There we go. Going to take out this creep. Finish off this tower as well. Winter has teleported, like all he did was he teleported home field and then teleported straight back to lane to continue pushing. Meanwhile, Windrunner, power shot, doesn't manage to find anything. Shadow Shaman can go back to the mid, but the first tower has finally been taken out. Although Anti-Mage actually counter pushing top, in the end will get chased off as Ice teleports to the top lane to finish off that.
Yeah, and there we go. Anti-Mage getting more and more out of control, and here's just something that Orange have not really kept tabs of, but their trade-off has been these towers. And without LGD taking any towers of their own, they're going to start falling slightly behind in terms of gold. And that's expected with their picks, with the Anti-Mage draft. It's not something they can really avoid here. It's just going to be a matter of creating enough time, enough space, and holding onto the towers for as long as possible so that Anti-Mage can get the items he needs to take them to the mid to late game stage.
So they're just going to keep pressuring. I've got to remember that Pugger is actually pretty good at pressuring towers, just because if he constantly starts spamming that Nether Blast, it really starts to stack up on those towers. That's an illusion. I thought they were setting up a gank there. Meanwhile, a bit of double jungling going on. They've got DDC as well as Xiao 8 just cleaning up that easy camp at the moment. Double D going to head bottom, and Anti-Mage has rotated back to his own bottom lane, going to continue farming. Has he got a Battle Fury? No, not yet. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for the... Well, because he's not been under any pressure. I'm really surprised he went for the power trades first rather than just doing the stock standard naked Battle Fury that we quite often see these Chinese teams do.
Yeah, a bit surprised, but I don't think it matters a massive amount here. As far as farm goes, whether you go Battle Fury then Treads or Treads then Battle Fury, you still get the two items up at a relatively similar time. The Battle Fury will help you farm a tiny bit faster so you can get the Treads up quicker, but having those Treads gives him a potential opportunity to maybe get a kill in lane, which he wouldn't otherwise get. He hasn't got any kills, there hasn't been any aggression from LGD, but there's always a possibility. So going for the tread allows you to have more mobility and more DPS in early game 5. But Orange now have got to defend. Their Tier 1 tower is under siege here, and LGD's DD finds X as well as Ice on the high ground there. He immediately backs off, and this mid Tier 1 tower will go Pugner with a blast, making sure it doesn't get denied. So LGD do get a tower of their own, and that's going to boost up Anti-Mage's farm, who now is close to that Battle Fury, about 1k gold away, and he's going to start pressuring this Tier 1 bottom tower, force someone to defend it, while the rest of his team maybe go apply pressure somewhere else on the map, or just make sure they're being as efficient as possible. We've got Darkseer farming one camp, Shadow Shaman and Shadow Demon still sticking together. This is like team neutraling these two here. Not really what you'd expect as a neutraling combo, but the Shadow Poison stacking is working out for him.
Yeah, no, it's working, especially with the smoke trick. It is working indeed. Meanwhile, Sylar being chased off from the bottom lane. I think Furion has picked up... He's picked up a Belt of Giants. I think that's going to be a Necrobook, to be dead honest. That doesn't look like it's going to be trades. He's saving up. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a Necrobook, I think. He's got 1,000 gold there. Probably going to get the Staff of Wizardry out in just a second. Meanwhile, Extinct, he's picked up... Yeah, he's got his Tranquil Boots there, along with... Well, he's going to be following Vengeful Spirit around. I haven't really seen a lot from VS yet. And then she has got that one level over Aura, and it's just going to help them out when they push. It's really, really nice, as opposed to just getting the second level of the Wave of Terror straight away. I do appreciate getting that one level in her Aura. Meanwhile, though, is that they're going to try and gank Sylar. They're thinking about it, but they need extra help. I don't think these two heroes by themselves can burst him down. He's got the tread, so he's not that squishy, and I don't think they can get in close enough to get him. Although with Windrunner here now, it's possible. Do they decide to snipe the Courier? No, they're going to let it go. And Anti-Mage, unfortunately, sees him coming from a mile away and just runs for it. I don't think that was going to happen.
Should have been Windrunner leading. I think Windrunner should have just gone in first. Windrunner has an invis rune, so would not have been for that, and just had to lead with a shackle shot. It should not have been Extinct leading that gank there, as that allowed Anti-Mage to have time to blink away. But I think what they really care about is this tower. They're going to go for the tower. Prophet even keeping in. He's got level 2 in those trees. Going to summon those up. Treads up. He's got a Sage's Mask. Maybe just going to see him. I think it's going to be for Medallion to help them take out Roshan quickly, because they're going to go for Roshan once they get a few more towers going their way. And LGD, they're actually going to try to defend. They're not going to go for a tower trade here. They're going to try to get some TPs in. Orange reacting. They're going to back off. Avoid any teamfight and conflict. And against the Darkseer, you don't really want a teamfight at this point in the game.
I love the fact he looked like he was building a Necrobook, and I called the Necrobook and immediately, buy treads, buy something for a Medallion. Or, I mean, it could even be an urn. That could even be an Urn of Shadows, which is something that push teams always love as well. Yeah, I can't see an urn on anywhere else in his team, so I think it might actually be an urn, just because he can teleport around a lot.
Vengeful Spirit's normally... you normally want to get that on your hard support, a hero like Vengeful Spirit, because you're not going to be picking up too many other bigger items here. It's just such a nice item to have on your hard support, because it's something they can actually afford. Whereas Prophet's going to get a lot of farm, can actually afford those bigger items. At the same time, it could be VS who gets a Medallion here. I mean, Medallion's another item like the Urn, which is quite affordable for a hard support hero.
Yeah, well, no, it's the Urn on the Furion. We see it so much just because he's out of all the heroes on the team, he's most likely to be present for more ganks, just because of the teleport, so it's much easier for him to stack up those charges. That's why I think we see it on him a lot. But we'll see what he goes for. I think it could be either one. It could quite easily, as you said, it could quite well be a medallion. Because negative armor is just such a great way to amplify damage. Especially you stack it with the VS Wave of Terror. That's a fair amount of negative armor on a single target. Can really help kill them quite quickly. But Battle Fury is down on the anti-mage. And it looks like he's currently sitting 115 CS 15 minutes in. That is pretty damn good. Doesn't really get much better than that.
Oh yeah, he is farming very, very well. And right now, I mean, Orange, you can see they need to start pressuring towers. They have to make sure they can just keep being on the front foot, take out Roshan soon, keep this gold lead building. As right now, it's not really building at all. They're only up by about 500 gold, and they're going to maybe lose that lead at top lane. This T1 tower under siege. Shackle shot followed by a power shot. The mech getting popped though. That mech now up on Pug is going to give LGD such a strong team fight, and it's I2 is going to go down. The engagement was not really timed all that well. Yamata now coming in from the side. He's going for the Darkseer here, but elsewhere, Prophet Winter gets picked off. This Darkseer just acting as a shield. Blink Dagger is actually up on Extinct. There's nothing to cancel the black hole. The vacuum was on cooldown. It comes late. They've already gotten 2 kills. Make it 3. Double kill for Windrunner. KYXY